Good afternoon and welcome to this afternoon's webinar, Online Video Marketing, the next best thing to being there. I'm Tim Henderson. I want to thank you in advance for the moments we have the privilege of sharing with you on this presentation, and want to guarantee you if you stay with us through these next minutes to the finish line, we'll reward you with a very valuable and no cost to you opportunity to engage in this arena at a high impact level. Thanks again for joining us. Let's jump right in. We're going to talk about using internet video to grow your credit union. Myths, legends, and facts. Why should I consider internet video in my CU marketing strategy? We're going to talk about the facts of online video marketing, the trends, and discuss what's driving those. What type of options do you have? Eliminate myths. Get the high-end expense, the low dollar, no impact options out of the way, and get you on the highway to results, capturing attention and converting your viewers to action. What is video overlay and how does it differ or fit in with the other approaches to online media? And what sort of results can your credit union expect? And then the final and all telling point that we'll discuss as it goes to myths and facts is the marketing budget, and will these concepts blow that budget or will it enhance the other efforts? We'll discuss all of that with you. All right, as we talk about the intro and myths in specific here initially, online video is a passing fad. In a certain sense, several things are passing fads, but they've been high impact. Online video has no impact. Take a look at world events to disprove that. And online video is a kid thing. We're going to show you 90% of Inc. 500 companies are using it with success. How about online video will blow my budget? Oh, that's one of our favorites. And we're going to show you before we finish today that it won't blow your budget. It's going to maximize your budget, we promise. How about the legends? Well, let's consider quickly just a couple of notable viral videos. The cell phone causing popcorn to pop. How about recently the Talking Babies, 9.4 million views. Notable video overlays. We'll address Deb Becker and tell you that story. Ann Legg, for instance, most recently with the CNBDC, and her specific statement, she felt like a superstar or a celebrity at the CNBDC because of her online media efforts prior to that event. And then to the facts. Online video is here now. The public and business have reached the tipping point. We're going to show you that online video is effective. The data indicates longer visit times among many other benefits. And online video is extremely cost effective. On the average, earnings from 10 new members will easily cover any investment you'll make in this pursuit. The big E, let's just give consideration to a couple things. The economy's been down, but improvement is clearly occurring. Bill Hempel, CUNA economist, said it's on the mend. Growing signs point to a strengthening recovery in 2011. How about Reg E? Last year, consuming a lot of marketing dollars. One of our partners talked about an additional $14 million that credit unions expended in that endeavor. Consider two groups with us this afternoon. Credit unions attending the CNBDC and those not. Why should we give that consideration? Well, data indicates those attending are spending more on marketing. It would benefit us to see what kind of results they're getting, what they're experiencing. They're usually a larger credit union. They have higher average balances, something we all want, and higher undivided assets. So we clearly see that they give us an opportunity into a window concerning what kind of successes might be available with increased investment dollars. For instance, those attending the CNBDC average about $14.70 in marketing dollars, $14.70 per member, where those not attending are averaging about $10.90 per member. You might stop and consider what your credit union is actually spending per member in your marketing efforts. In addition, those credit unions attending the CNBDC have much higher undivided assets, as we mentioned, to the tune of about $827 per member versus those not attending at $643 per member. You might stop to consider where your credit union is with regards to undivided assets, or, as I understand the credit union terminology, profits per member. So go ahead as we move forward with those considerations and Consider this. Of those attending the CMBDC, 1 out of 4 last year lost members. 1 out of 12 attending credit unions lost assets last year, and 8 out of 10 reported assets per members as lower than the year before. Now, these statistics tell us some clear things. What does it mean? It means the trends are downward, and of course these patterns can't continue. If you consider it, 50 years ago, credit unions added members at the rate of 7% per year. In the last decade, 1.5%. How about marketing approaches? They definitely are changing. Consider newspaper advertising as one entity, a staple for decades. Now, a recent article listed newspapers as one of the top 10 dying industries, with revenues comparable to those of the 1930s for that industry. So the marketing times, they are a-changin'. Mark Wolf from CUNA, of course, Communications, on the front page of New York Times said more local credit union TV commercials have been created in the past 3 years than the previous 27 years combined. And the reason stated was the approach or strategies are changing due to SEGs and community charters, which have opened up the marketplace for credit unions. In addition, however, we're seeing a transition in dramatic fashion from that static print information delivery to the digital dynamic delivery of content. With this transition, the growth of multimedia is also taking place on the web. 2005 statement, the use of streaming media on the web has increased by more than 100% per year. Recent statistics, 08 to 09 comparisons across the board show dramatic increases. In a simple headline, online video is booming. How about the viewers of this online video? Well, they're more affluent. 78% of those with $75,000 in household income per year are viewing online video. How about educated? 75% of those with some to finished college educations are viewing online video. That said, those with less than $50,000 in household income at 46% are viewing. What it tells us very clearly is we have a massive audience that is reviewing information in an entirely new format online. And so we see business acceptance at high levels of online media. Consider this statement from March 2011 Credit Union Magazine. 2009, 85% of companies see online video as a successful tool. And that's increasing to 90%, it shows us here in 2010. Look at the online video ad forecast. In the hundreds of millions, it is exploding here in this forecast chart as documented for us. With all that established, change is happening. Consider the American Revolution. Technically, 11 years it took for that to transpire and complete itself. Change is occurring much more quickly today. Consider the Middle East and that revolution. Reality, 30 days. Mass mobs of people moved in on their government and overthrew that regime in an effort to create freedom. How did they do it? Primarily through communicating with online, social, mobile media efforts. What does this mean? It means more than possible gain or getting results. It very simply could be the reality of survival in this economic shift and these marketing trends that are changing rapidly. We're not in, we're out. If we're not on the train, we're on the tracks, and we're here this afternoon to help you identify some arenas or areas where you can get in and make high impact differences quickly. At the CMBDC in Las Vegas just last month, attending individuals and award winners made several observations. Matt Hodson, for instance, of the Healthcare Credit Union, commented on the fact that it's not enough to have service as a commodity anymore. We need to show them what our service means. In addition, another comment given to us by James Robert Lay of PTP New Media, emphasizing social media is not about technology but people. Kristen Armstrong, Neighborhood Credit Union Community, in talking about building member relationships, said we need to make things more personal. And Alice Hagerman of Lynn Area Credit Union, in referencing Libby Gill, keynote speaker's discussion on building a mindshare brand, highlighted the comment, when you capture the mind share, the market share will follow. A very, very important consideration as we speak to advanced communication online. Speaking of the keynote speaker, perhaps you heard Libby Gill, executive coach, brand strategist. Some of her clients include Warner Brothers, Disney, Dr. Phil, who provided her a personal endorsement. She made the statement in that opening speech concerning credit unions and their need to consider innovative approaches, such as Ann Legg's QVO invitation. She referenced the use of techniques like QVO as being important in developing mind share. With that presented, those facts, we would propose that the consideration of online media is an open and shut case. The simple question in front of you is, what options do you have? In specific, there are major areas, 3, of online videos. The first would be that viral, what we call YouTube, Vimeo kind of videos, in hopes of creating traffic. The reality is the great majority, thousands, tens of thousands uploaded daily, do not generate traffic. So with that, where can we focus? The home page. You are looking for conversion as you're driving traffic to that home page from different marketing endeavors. That's your goal. In addition, educating that visitor once they've gone beyond the home page inside your site and creating loyalty by the existing members or a sense of connectivity and loyalty for those who are visiting your site for information and very, very important decisions that they're about to make. Now, in addition to the 3 major areas, there's 3 main content and creation types. Professionally produced video. What we want to do here is kind of eliminate the ditches that you might fall into with this topic. For instance, high dollar, high expense creation of professional video. We at QVO are prepared and equipped to not only create high impact, strong brand equity and brand recognition video for you, but we're prepared and equipped to do it at the lowest possible dollar through the strong relationships that we have created nationwide. There's another level, the prosumer, and of course QVO is prepared to work with you at this level, combining some of your resources and our resources and creating brand equity and brand recognition. That's a good, strong middle of the road position for impact at low dollar. Now, really the worst place to be is the other ditch here, user-generated, UGC they call it in the industry, created or produced by end users. There's little or no brand equity or brand recognition. You in the credit union community can probably cite YouTube videos right now that you wish weren't up on YouTube but are drawing attention to what may paint the credit union in poor light. And a simple example, for instance, we mentioned the Talking Babies on YouTube. A very entertaining piece and enjoyable, for that matter, garnered a lot of attention. But how many of you know who produced that? What brand is being identified or recognized there? Of course, I don't, you might, but it wasn't the point, and most on YouTube isn't accomplishing that at any level user-generated. So those main content and creation types are important to consider as we move forward in high-impact online media for you. So those 3 major areas again, off-site, homepage, and inside. Let's eliminate the 2 outside options and go to that homepage with the consideration of video overlay. Very simply, taking a personality, delivering a message over top of an existing page without any redesign, restructuring, in a very brief window of time, generate attention to attract and retain that viewer for periods of upwards in statistics now clearly established of 600+% over web pages without this type of video deployed. Consider it briefly in this arena. A short but sweet video pitch can cut through the noise, and there's a lot of that. Here's a statistic: more than 87% of all streaming media is abandoned